I'm Joe Madison. My family's been in Pearland for about 25 years now. You know, my aunt and uncle adopted me and my brother when we were 10 and 12. So really, I was receiving grace well before I even knew what that meant, and definitely before I had a relationship with Christ. And it was years before I saw my first pornographic website. Didn't even think to go and necessarily look for it. And what I realized looking back is I struggled for probably 7 or 8 years with pornography. And most of that time, I didn't even know I was struggling. But I realized it was changing me. It was changing my heart and my mind and my relationship with my wife. Just looking back on it, it seems to have given me a foundation, this conviction that I felt, and then going through some of the consequences that it takes to get beyond conviction, and then being called by the Lord much later on in life to do work to fight human trafficking, and then find pornography at the core of so much of it. That became almost like a consecration. I was called to do this work. And so I look back at this timeline and realize He prepares you. He prepares you even in your struggles whenever you're willing to have and call for help. And I think that the biggest part of the work that I do is leading with empathy and vulnerability. And we have got to be able to give grace to somebody that we're dealing with, or they will never feel the release of their shame. Shame isolates. Shame keeps people alone. I see that quite often in the work that I do. But then I also see men go from being broken, hurting their families, hurting others, having some self-realization, getting back in touch with their faith, and then beginning the work to gain restoration. And it all comes from grace. It comes from realizing that you can't do enough to be worthy, but you're already forgiven and you're already good enough. When who you are comes through Christ, comes through your relationship with your Lord, it's awesome, and it changes your purpose. That purpose then becomes the way you live your life, the way you interact with other people, what you give, your humility so that you can receive when you need to be receiving. And when you combine those two, your legacy is what ends up being what you leave behind. Because the truth is, we're going to leave a legacy one way or another, whether we're even trying to. If you're hearing this and you're feeling any of that conviction, know that that conviction is a good thing. It leads to that release. It leads to that restoration. And that's one of the beautiful things I get to look back on and see that type of grace and how it's there. It's just waiting for us in Christ.